Hi, I'm Sharon. Welcome to my theory tuition series where I'm working with you through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are loads of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbeal.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets, and they're available to download in US letter or A4, and they accompany each step of this series. There's a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also access information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day. So if you go to sharonbeal.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. And now we're going to continue with this sample paper Y for grade 2. So if you turn with me to page 2, and we'll have a go at question 3. If you want to know where to download this paper from, you can download it for free from the ABRSM website, and you'll find a link in the description. So now we've got to do a couple of things for this, so I suggest you just read the question carefully. If you want to listen to the first one as I explain how to go about it, but then I suggest you press pause and have a go at completing these yourself if you haven't done so before. It's always better to learn by your mistakes. So we're asked to add the correct clef, so that's the first part, and then we also asked to add the key signature, so that's the second part. So we've got two things to make sure we address here. So that we need to make this triad a tonic triad for E minor. So of course the tonic must be at the bottom, and that must be E. And for that to be the case, we need to decide, excuse me, if it's treble or bass clef. Well, treble clef is F-A-C-E, the space is spelled face, and so that must be treble clef. So it goes clef first, then key signature afterwards. Now the key signature, this is where it's really important that you know your major and minor related keys. There's no alternative but just to give these some serious revision. E minor is related to G major. They both share a key signature of 1 sharp, which is F sharps. So there's our F sharp on the top line. Every good boy does football. So if you make sure you dress those two aspects, you're home and dry. So now I'm hoping you've had a go at the rest, and we'll carry on. So then we need this to be an E, G, B. We need this to be an E, and for that to be the case, we need this to be bass clef, because if you think good boys deserve, that's G, F, E, counting down to that ledger line. So we need that to be bass clef, otherwise it's the wrong note in the tonic triad. Or wrong notes in the tonic triad, I should say. And now E flat major has a key signature of B flats, E flats and A flats. Just a matter of getting to grips and remembering those. There is a way of revising these where you can just sketch them down quickly and get all the major and minor related keys. If you want to figure out how to do that, you can write out the circle of fifths, and I've done a video tutorial explaining exactly how to do that. So if you want to learn about how to do the circle of fifths to make sure that you know all of your key signatures, have a look for the link to that video tutorial in the description below as well. So here we go, let's carry on. So for this to be an F major, we need the tonic to be an F, and for that to be the case, it must be treble, because there's F, A, C, E, so we need that to be the treble clef. And this key signature we first came across in grade 1, F major has B flats, so that's that. Now for this to be A major, we need this to be A, C, E, first, third, fifth, and for that to be the case, it needs to be the treble clef. Remember, it's every good boy deserves football, A, C, E. So this is the treble clef. If you find it hard thinking as low as this, you could always think, well, I know it's A, C, E, first, third, fifth, and we need that to be an E. Then you can count backwards, double check. E, D, C, that's middle C, B, A. Now the key signature for A major is 3 sharps. The first sharp is always F. When there's 1 sharp, when there's 2 sharps, it's F sharp, C sharp, and when there's 3 sharps, it's F, C, G sharps. So there we go. So for this to be D minor, we need the tonic to be D. We need D, F, A. And for that to be the case, it must be bass clef, good boys deserve. So we need that to be the bass clef. And D minor is related to F major, so we need a key signature of 1 flat, B flats, good boys, placed in the bass clef. There we go. So let's press on. This question isn't too difficult at all, so long as you keep middle C as your anchor point, keep middle C as a reference point, and that will prevent you getting yourself an octave out of sync. And so you can see here, this is the E above middle C. Remember that the middle C is at the bottom of the treble, the top of the bass. It's as if they're meeting together. You can imagine on a piano keyboard, bottom of the treble, top of the bass, you meet in the middle to middle C. And this is the C, D, E flat above middle C, so C, D, E flat above middle C. And that will prevent you getting your wrong octave and placing it in the wrong part of the stave, because we need it to be exactly the same pitch. So we're rewriting notes from treble to bass, but we need the pitch to be exactly the same. So here's middle C, and we are 1, 2, 3, C, B, A. So here's middle C, although we don't need that, we'll just sketch that in for a second. C, B, A takes us to this note here, and then you can just rub out your little thinking sketch there. That's just your thought processes. So here, this is the D above middle C, and so if that's middle C, 1 step above C, D is that one. This is the B flat below middle C. So there's the middle C, there's middle C. B flat will be here, just 1 step below. Now here we've gone quite high up for the bass. So there's middle C, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, D, E, F. But we need to make sure we're above middle C. So if you pop it here, that's wrong, that's the wrong octave. Here's middle C, C, D is the space, E is the next line, F is the space. So we just need to be careful with our placement. Always keep referring back to middle C. There we go. Now the second part of this is just a little bit of detective work. We need to decide which major key are all these notes found. So we've got a bit of a clue here. We've got a B flat and we've got an E flat. Nothing else. So which major key would have B flats and E flats? And B flat major has a key signature of just those 2 flats. So B flat major. There we go. So this next question, these aren't too difficult. You just need to take things a step at a time. We need to rewrite the following, but we need to write it in notes of half the value. So they've actually done a lot of the thinking for us here by giving us the time signature. Here we're counting 2 minims, or 2 half notes per bar. Here we're still in duple time, we're counting 2 beats per bar, but now we're counting 2 crotchets, or 2 quarter notes per bar. So these should sound exactly the same, we've just changed the unit value in the way that we count it. And so the way we'd halve everything is a crotchet or a quarter note becomes a quaver, or an eighth note. We sort of stick a stem on that. We'd add an extra beam here to make those into semi-quavers or 16th notes. So that goes from a crotchet to a quaver. Again here, crotchet to quaver or quarter note to eighth note. Same again here. So this one, now we will colour in. So we're going to make that into a dotted crotchet, dotted quarter note. That will be a quaver now, an eighth note. Colour that one in, that becomes a crotchet or quarter note. That's our, so we've gone from 1 unit value of minim beats to 1 beat value of crotchet beats. That was a tongue twister. So same again there. And then here if we add a stem on, that makes that 2 beats. So 2 beats in this time signature now. That makes it a half note or a minim. And so of course now we're going to have some decisions to make about grouping or beaming these. So we need to reflect the time signature in the way that we beam these. So 1/2 a beat and 2 quarters, when we've just changed these time values, gives us 1 crotchet beat or 1 quarter note, so they need to be beamed. 2 halves give us another beat, so they need to be beamed to show each new beat. Now here you would think that we'd go half and half, half and half, but if you remember there is a rule that allows us to group all of those together. The only time we need to be careful is in a time signature of 4/4, where we just don't go over, we don't beam over the halfway point of the bar, but as we'll only be in 2/4, we can just beam those together in a whole bar. And then none of these will need to be beamed because we've just got this one quave, this 1/8 note, and everything else is crotchets or minims. So we've done the thinking now, so I'm just going to get going with this. You can copy it through now in any order you like. So I'm sort of joining from where they've begun. I'm keeping it quite straight at the top just because they've given us this line, and also we're sort of all over the place here, so we'll just keep that straight. We just need the other beam there. So these two need to be beamed. They're both below the middle line. So they'll have the stems going up. All of these are below the middle line. I'm trying to keep everything reasonably aligned so I don't get lost, and so I know I'm not going to run out of room. So use a ruler, just join these together. They can all go together. Just extend that stem a little bit. So this is going to be coloured in now. This is a dotted crotchet, dotted quarter note. This is a quaver. And then these will be coloured in. That's a crotchet. That's a crotchet or quarter note. And there is our minim. So everything's nicely halved. And if you just glance through and check your timing, you can see that we've got exactly the correct number of beats per bar. So this and this should sound exactly the same. We've just changed the unit value in which we're counting with. It's rather like thinking 1/2, 0.5 and 2/4 is exactly the same. We just count them differently. That's exactly what we're doing here. So that's the end of that question. We'll look at the next question in the next video. I hope that's been of help to you. I hope it's helping with your studies. I also hope that you're enjoying it. I'm certainly enjoying working through it with you. If you can give me a like, that would be fab. And please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Please do visit sharonbill.com and have a look at all the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.